bachelor.com/equinoxev.
Welcome back to Bachelor Happy Hour's Golden Hour. Susan, we're back. Thank y'all for joining us.
So you guys, if you haven't listened to our Wednesday episode yet, you are definitely missing out. We had Lexi from Joey's season, and Kathy, how about her being a blonde? How beautiful. I mean, she was beautiful on his season. Now she's like, what?
So, okay. Yes, she's absolutely beautiful, Susan, and she's beautiful as a blonde. She was beautiful as a brunette. But you know what impressed me about her?
Her
willingness to talk about her endometriosis and freezing her eggs and searching for the right guy and just knowing that she's complete as she is. And I just found her amazingly mature. And Lexi, if you're listening to us today, they're ready for you.
What? I love seeing she was very comfortable in her own skin. She knows what she wants, and she does want. And how about her freezing her eggs like she shared? That's a great thing to do, especially with her situation, but she's not afraid to talk about it. I think she shared with us that Joey helped her.
Yeah. You know what I love is one of the things I love about doing this podcast is Lexi's not alone. There are a lot of women of childbearing years who are dealing exactly with what she's dealing with, and to normalize it and talk about it and know that you're not alone. I love that she can stand for that, and people can say, if she can do it and get through the surgeries and have this positive outlook, you know, I can do it. I love that.
Kathy, did it ever occur to you, as it is right now in my brain, that the show itself helps people to grow and find themselves and realize who they are? Remember when I shared with you, when I came off the show, I knew I love myself. I'm good people. And I believe she's come so much further to hear her talk. I think
herself. I think she said she's had a lot of seasons. I think being on the show, if you will, is a season. And it changed me. We've talked about it many times. It's changed you. But I just think that I think sometimes people feel very isolated, right? And they feel like they're the only ones dealing with something. And to hear what she's dealing with and people hearing what you and I've dealt with. So that's what I love. I love that we can talk about these things and people can know they're not alone. So that's
absolutely.
Okay. Well, today
we're proud of you, Lexi.
We are. And please, could we look like her? Could we go back and look like her?
In my next life. Damn it. I never tried blonde. Maybe I should have tried blonde.
Oh, no. Blonde is not in my future. Absolutely not. Okay. Today, though, we're going to answer, which we love, more of your fan questions. And we are so excited to get into these because Susan and I have opinions about just about everything.
And don't forget, if you guys have a question for Kathy and me, send them in. Just go to bachelornation.com/golden hour and we will read every one of them. And maybe you'll even be a guest on here.
Okay. And before we get to that, we always start with our question of the day. Are you ready, Susan?
Mm-hmm. Here we go.
Under what circumstances do you think a 10-year age gap in a relationship can work?
First thing that comes to mind is you have to be over 30 or, nothing less than 30. It would never. It's too young. 40, 50. Well, my age, 10 years is just perfectly fine.
Yeah, I agree with that.
On either way, older or younger.
Do you know what came to my mind?
What?
My son, who you officiated their wedding, who married a woman 10 years his senior.
10 years a senior, I know.
I think you're
on. She's a lucky girl.
A lucky girl. I think you're onto something, though, Susan. I think if you're too young, it doesn't work. And if you're too old, maybe, then maybe things happen in that it's hard to, deal with someone who maybe is not as mobile. But I think you're right that those middle years, 10 years just doesn't mean much.
I mean, I remember when I was just starting to date, late teens, and my mother would never let me go out with a guy 5 years older. When you're 19 and he's 26 or 24, whatever, that's ridiculous. So 10 years at that age is a lot, I think. But once you're 35, especially 40, you could do 50
again
or 30.
It's like childbearing, right? So if you're 35 dating a 45-year-old and you don't have kids, you might have kids. I mean, it just depends on the person, I think, as well.
It does.
But I think it can work. I'm certainly hoping so, since my son has married that woman. Okay.
Woo, me too.
Are you ready to answer some questions? Go.
Oh, I think we should. You can go first for number one.
Okay. Kylie asks, "Hi, Kathy and Susan. I drive an hour to work, and listening to you 2 times a week makes my drive so much better." Well, we're glad, Kylie. I am a mom. It's great. Just keep your hands on the steering wheel. Okay. I'm a mom of an almost 2-year-old and a 9-week-old. Lately, I've been having terrible mom guilt for losing my patience with my 2-year-old throughout the day and not spending enough one-on-one time with my newborn. I go to bed feeling so guilty and, quite honestly, overwhelmed. How do you work through that mom guilt? How did you make sure each of your kids was getting that one-on-one time with you? Much love and thank you.
You're totally normal. I mean, we all felt that way. You do, your patience run thin sometimes. I mean, you do snap, but you love them up afterwards, right?
I mean, listen, it is the oldest myth out there that moms can do it all, have a full-time job, raise their kids, the old Betty Crocker with an apron and making homemade cakes every day.
That's not the way anymore. Everybody works.
Susan, it was never the way. So what I would say to you, Kylie, is, you know what? We're not perfect. I think the most important thing is making sure your kids know you love them. I had 3, I still do, have 3 children. And when they were young, I would try to take one-on-one and take them to a special thing, like take my daughter to the Nutcracker ballet at Christmas time, take my son to a baseball game, take whatever
Even
it was.
going to McDonald's for a half hour. But when they're young, though, the other ones will cry. I mean, there's a certain age where real young is good. They don't know the difference, but as they get older, you explain it to them. Then your day is Tuesday or your day is Sunday. Right. And mommy loves all of you.
Right. And I think
you're totally normal.
Yeah, it's totally normal. You shouldn't have guilt. There's enough guilt in life. Don't add to it. Don't add to it, Kylie. Just
go easy on yourself.
You know what? Give yourself the grace of knowing that you're a busy mom and you've got a lot on your plate. And at the end of the day, your kids know that you love them. And that's really all that matters. The rest of it.
Or do a daddy day and a mommy day. One goes with one goes with the other. Or family
there
day.
might not be a daddy. There might be 2 mommies. Who knows? I'm just saying. I'm just saying your kids really, at the end of the day, my kids, I don't know about yours, Susan, but my kids don't remember the gift that I got them for Christmas. They don't remember the things that they got. They always talk about the experiences that we had, either one-on-one or as a family. So, Kylie, give your kids the experiences. It doesn't have to be all day. Just spend some one-on-one time with them, and it's going to go. They're going to always remember that. Always.
Mine remember how I made them laugh and made them embarrassed, and we had some good times. But they do remember some of the special gifts.
Yeah. And by the way, when Kylie says she's overwhelmed, Kylie, welcome to motherhood.
To motherhood.
Yeah. Call us, write us in about, let's call it 18 years, and you're going to feel a whole lot better.
You're doing fine, sweetheart. But thank you for sharing it with us, and we wish you the best.
Support for this at a price.
So whether you're making a quick
at MSRP,
retail price excludes tax, title, season, it could be almost aging and parenting, as well as for different level code happy hour. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code happy hour. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code happy hour.
Okay, this one's from an anonymous. They say, love your show, ladies. A few years ago, we had a set of friends, Doug and Mary, who asked us to introduce them to another set of friends, Kendra and Gary. Kendra and Gary, that's the first time. Am I saying
Jerry.
that right? Sounds
It
like
might
our
be Jerry. It could be Gary or Jerry.
It's Gary. Kendra and Gary owned vacation properties, and Doug and Mary mentioned wanting to be invited there. Ooh, okay. My husband and I thought it would be fun, so I introduced the couples. After many of an event, including travel together, Mary took it up upon herself to hold a retirement party for Kendra, knowing we could not attend on the proposed weekend. Ouch. We were rightfully upset as we feel it was done on purpose. Now, the two couples get together, including vacations, and leave us out. We have some relation with Kendra and Gary, but have not spoken to Mary or Doug. Other than Doug reaching out to my husband to wish him a Merry Christmas, are we being too sensitive, or are we justified in limited contact? Would love your insight. Ow.
What do you think?
Okay. Ugh, I feel bad for them. But
You know what I
maybe
think?
the other four just have more fun.
It's,
Let it
there's a
go.
lot going on here, but at the end
Yeah,
of
but
the
it would
day,
sting me, Kathy. Wouldn't it sting you?
this happened to me.
Oh, Jesus.
It did. It wasn't couples. It was a girlfriend of
Girlfriends. Well,
mine,
girls
and
do that all the time.
And I introduced her to another friend of mine, and they kind of went off and literally left me out and would
you.
say, "We're doing this, we're doing that." Do you know that like 10 years later, one of those girls called me and apologized and said, "It was hateful what we did. You were such a nice person. I'm really sorry we did that to you." And my answer was,
So with that, with that being said, her calling to apologize
Yeah.
tells me they knew what they were doing.
yes. And you know
That's
what?
so mean.
Well, but you know what? I would say in this situation, it was mean. But you know what? Not every friendship or relationship is meant for a lifetime. And the fact is, are you being too sensitive? What's too sensitive? Your feelings have been hurt.
Well, they're missing out too. They don't get to go anymore. They're doing it without them.
Right. So are you justified in limited contact? You're justified in doing whatever makes you feel comfortable in your friend group. And so,
And you're justified to feel what you feel.
right. And if you want to get together with them, get together with them. Invite them over. But you know what? It sounds to me, guys, like anonymous, it sounds like you're upset and you don't really want to continue the friendship. So give yourself the grace of saying, you know what? It was good for a time, and move on with your life with your other friends.
But Kathy, did you see where she said they held a retirement party knowing they couldn't attend on that date? One would think if that were happening, I would have spoke up and said, "Oh my gosh, I can't make it that day. Please have it a different day."
But again, as often when we're answering questions, we don't know. Maybe the people were leaving on a trip.
Yeah, we don't know the
know. It might have been
situation.
the only
Yeah.
weekend that was possible. I think if that was the only event, the retirement party, I'd say get over it. I'm sure there might have been a reason, but the fact that they're spending vacations together and leaving them out, I hate to say it, anonymous,
I'd be jealous.
but
I'd be
the
hurt.
friendship may have, it may have been for a season and a reason, and it's over. And I would say, anonymous, go make some new friends and cherish the memories you had, but don't feel.
And I say it does stink.
It does sting, but it's not. Are we being
But
too
you
sensitive?
do. You have to move on. You have to.
You
I
have to
know.
move on.
But I don't want her to think never to never introduce friends again. People get like that. Oh, I'm never going to introduce you to her. You'll probably like her and leave
That's
me.
right. You don't have to worry about me, Susan. I'm not going anywhere.
I know you're not. I love you back.
All right,
Kat.
love you, sweetie.
Alrighty.
All right, here's the next one. Evie. Evie writes, "Hi there, Kathy and Susan. I want to say how grateful I am for y'all's podcast. It truly helps me get through the tough days. I'm a 23-year-old military wife and a new mom. I was hoping y'all could help me with some issues I've been having with my mother-in-law. She and I had a great relationship while my husband and I were dating and engaged. But as soon as we got married, I noticed a little bit of change in her attitude towards me, but nothing too crazy. But as soon as our daughter was born, all hell broke loose. Anything I do, she has to criticize me. Sounds like my mother-in-law. Anyway, for example, when my daughter was first born, I was exclusively breastfeeding. She would lecture me how I need to be using a bottle because it's better. Once my daughter started getting teeth, I switched to pumping and bottle feeding. She then started criticizing me for using a bottle and said that I should only be breastfeeding. My husband has talked to her many, many times about the comments she has made towards me, but she always blows him off and continues to make comments. My husband and I also have our daughter on a pretty tight schedule, but with us being military, we don't get to see family often. So when we do travel down to see his family, we're not super strict on her schedule since we are on such a limited amount of time to visit. But she always manages to make a nasty comment about her schedule. She will say things like, if you're actually a good parent, then you don't need a schedule. Every time my husband calls her out, she always says the same thing. I didn't mean it like that. I'm just very honest. I'm really struggling to have a good relationship with her. Any advice would be great.
Hey, Mom, kiss my butt.
No,
you're
Susan,
not the mother. No,
you're not saying that. Evie,
no.
Can I just tell you?
Go ahead.
I honestly believe this is my mother-in-law reincarnated. I truly do.
You said that before.
I mean, I couldn't do anything right with my children.
You know what? Mother-in-laws can be opinionated.
Not me. I'm
They
not.
can.
Are you?
No.
Honestly, my kids raised...
I take my daughter-in-law's side all the time. I play my son.
Yeah, I take my son-in-law. I'm just saying, I think that it's really tough because what happens here is, Evie, your husband's in the middle, unfortunately. He loves his mom, I'm sure. And you're a new mom, so you're feeling your way. Congrats, by the way, on the birth of your child. I also was a military wife. I get it. I understand everything you're saying. I also did not get to see family very often because of our orders and where we were stationed. So what I would say to you is be careful about putting your husband too much in the middle. I do as I say, not as I did. Let a lot of it just wash off. Just, Teflon, let it float off your back because mother-in-laws sometimes have a lot of opinions. And you know what? Their opinions.
You know what? I have to address this.
Okay.
The mother-in-law says if you're actually a good parent, then you don't need a schedule. Right then and there. Wait, Mom, stop. Could you say that again, please?
Wait, you're saying
and
it's the
look her
son?
right in the eye.
As the son?
No, this is the mother speaking.
I say, who should say, Mom, can you say that again? Who should question her?
The daughter-in-law or both of them. It doesn't matter. Say that again. Look at me and say that. How dare you?
She's
Who died
20.
and made you boss?
Susan, this young mother is 23 years old. Are you kidding me?
She's not going to be able to
She's
do
not
that.
going to do
All right,
that.
then you know what? The good news is you don't have to go often. I don't know what to tell you then because you need to address it. I would not stand for that. That would cause problems between me and my husband because I would complain to him.
It did
Your
cause
mother's such a whatever.
Yes, I did. That's what I'm saying. Evie,
This
it
is
did
not
cause problems with my husband and myself. So what I would encourage you to do is smile sweetly at her, count to 1,000, have your
Count the
suitcase
minutes till you
packed.
leave.
Exactly. Have your suitcase packed. Every night, cross a day off the calendar till you leave. It's just what it's going to be. And thank your lucky stars you don't live next door to her.
Or call
And good
her
luck,
on
sweetie.
it.
And
like
you know what?
Susan calls her on it.
Yep.
Susan calls her on it at 20, at 19. I don't care how old you are. With respect, of course. With absolute respect. And maybe share with her, do you know how bad that hurts my feelings? Oh, I didn't mean it like that. Well, this is how I received it. And maybe, just maybe she'll get it.
Yeah.
But, some dogs you can't teach new.
Well, especially
Some
this woman
moms
is
are
not,
just-
this woman's an older mom. But Evie, thank you and your husband for
big.
your military service. We do appreciate that. And good luck to you and congrats on your child.
Yes, and thanks for sharing it with us. And if we could be of any more help, just let us know.
Support for this podcast and the following price. The Witching.
Whether you're making a quick turn around the block,
MSRP
price excludes tax, title.
at First Bite. Order ahead on
Our senior year of college makes $3,000 a week. Big fan of your podcast. I had a
Happy Place.
From Wisconsin with love. Welcome to Delicious.
The next one's from Sophie. Hi, Kathy and Susan. I am such a big fan of your podcast. I had a question for you guys, and my family and friends have so many opinions about this. Okay. My boyfriend of 2 years, we are in our senior year of college, makes $3,000 a week, while I make $600 a week. Due to my major, I am an unpaid intern, and I need an internship for my credits to graduate this spring. Anyways, at the bar and many other things, he will never pay for me ever, unless I laugh about it and say, "Are you paying?" Ha ha ha. And he gets mad and I pay. I do feel bad because I do want to pay for myself, but I am paying for rent, gas, and groceries while his parents pay for everything for him. And he is living in my house rent free.
I'm sorry, Susan, could you just repeat that? He's living what?
He's living in her house rent free.
I just want to make sure everyone heard that.
We have been dating for almost 3 years now, and it has always been this way. It's to the point where my cousin will buy me drinks at the bar, and so will my friends, while my boyfriend will pay for his friends' drinks at the bar, but not mine. Am I doing something wrong? Yes, you are. I need advice. Please help. Oh, Sophie, kick him to the curb.
I was going to say, Sophie, that apartment or home that you're living in and he's living rent-free, show him the door and say, "See ya on the other side."
Wait a minute, Kathy. He pays for his friends.
Oh, I got it.
And
Sophie,
doesn't treat her that. Why?
Sophie,
Who
listen.
is this man?
Oh, I don't know,
Let
but
me get a hold of him.
really, here comes the baseball
Tell
bat
him
again.
to call me. I want to talk to him.
Sophie, let me just say to you, I don't care if you're earning
honey.
$600 a week. You don't have to explain about your unpaid internship.
No.
This guy is
He's
a
living in your
freeloader.
house free.
He's a
Free.
freeloader. He's never going to make you happy. We talk, Sophie, on this show a lot about red flags. This one
This
is
one.
6 red flags causing a hurricane they're waving.
It's Six Flags over New Jersey.
Yeah, really, 6 red flags over whatever city you're in. Get rid of him. And you know what? You and I
my
don't say that too
goodness.
often. But this guy.
No, we don't.
But this
we
guy.
always give somebody the benefit of the
No.
doubt. This guy's a douche.
Yeah.
I mean,
Do
I
not.
have no respect.
And-
no respect. But wait, I have to ask you something,
Okay.
Sophie. You need to get a little bit more respect for yourself.
There you go.
And you do not tolerate
That's right.
anyone, any person, whether it's your boyfriend or a friend or a stranger for that matter, to treat you in such a way. That's just so disrespectful.
Susan, you couldn't be more right. I love it when we agree.
I do too. And this guy's a douche.
Yeah, Sophie, listen, if you think magically after what you've been with this guy 2 years, do you
He's not
honestly
going to
think he's going to change? When a man shows you who he is the first time, believe him. He has shown you
But
who he is.
it's been years, Kathy. 3 years?
They were
She's
living.
tolerated this?
Well, she says my boyfriend of 2 years, and then she said they've been dating for almost 3 years now.
3 years.
You know what,
well,
Sophie?
dating, he didn't treat her either.
Yeah, I'm saying this is not going to get better if this relationship turns into a marriage or a whatever. Offload him now. You're young. You have a great career ahead of you. Go find someone who deserves you and take Susan's advice. A little self-respect and self-love is what you need. You
and I want
deserve
to know
far
how
better.
you pay rent, gas, and groceries on $600.
Well, who
I
knows?
mean, how are you doing that?
Does
That's
it matter?
hard. And he doesn't see that, and he's making $3,000 and his mommy and daddy pay for his things, that's never going to get good. Ever.
Sophie, we love you and we want to hear what happens. You've got to get back to us on this, but we really hope you get the courage up to show this guy the door. Here's the door. Here's your hat.
Or
what's your hurry?
Maybe if she doesn't want to break it up, then, sweetie, this is your amount that you're paying to live here. This is half of the gas, half of the groceries, and half of the rent.
Oh, I like that.
And then I'll buy my own damn drinks.
I like that, Susan. I like that.
Right. Smarten up, Sophie.
Yeah. All right. We're sorry about that. Okay.
Thank you.
But good luck, Sophie. Seriously, please write us back and let us know how it goes. We hope you find your next guy, right guy, soon.
That treats you right.
Very soon.
Oh, here comes my favorite part, Kathy. I suck at this game.
Okay, so y'all, we play Moral Quandary. Susan struggles, but today I feel the chemistry's here today. She's going to get it, okay? So let's go, Susan. Start us off with the first one.
God. Go. All right. Now I'm supposed to guess what
I'm going to guess first what you would do because you're going to read it. Okay?
All right. You're spending time with your adult child and you overheard them tell their in-laws that they're pregnant. You pretend not to know anything, but they end up not telling you and go to head home for the day. Do you confront them about it or wait it out?
Okay, so here's what Susan would do. And don't interrupt Susan. Here's what Susan would do. She would wait until her daughter, let's call it her daughter, is in labor 9 months later and would say, oh, what a happy surprise. And if you believe that, I have a wooden nickel I'm going to sell you for $1 million. Susan would take her daughter and say, Brittany, what's up? How could you tell your in-laws and not tell me?
As it was coming out of her mouth. I would have went, what?
Okay, what would I do?
I think you'd do the same exact thing.
You think I would right then and there do it?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. As soon as you heard it, you would feel thrilled.
Nope.
You wouldn't?
You overheard it. You pretend.
You're obviously there.
Yeah, you overheard it. She was telling her in-laws, so she didn't say, hey, guess what, mom and dad and in-laws. She told the in-laws. What I would do, my daughter's Caitlin, the next day or when we got alone, I would say, hey, you're pregnant?
Something you want to
and
tell
you
me.
Didn't tell me? I would, but I wouldn't do it right then and there. Good. All right, here's the next one. Ready? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You catch your good friend picking up one of your necklaces and putting it in their pocket while they're over at your house along with some other friends. Does that mean they put other friends in their pocket? Okay. Do you confront her in front of everyone, wait until everyone leaves, or let it go for the night and deal with it later? What would I do, Susan?
Right then and there.
Ding, 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 ding. You are absolutely right. And so would you.
Absolutely. That's a no-brainer.
That's a no-brainer, guys.
No-brainer.
Absolutely.
No.
Because you know what?
God, how dare
first
they?
of all, if you did that to me, I would be like, she's not my friend. Yeah, I'd be like, what?
Exactly.
If you need, if I would say to you, Susan, if you need to sell I'll give you the money. If you need that, if you really want that necklace, Kathy, I'll give it to you.
Would you pull her aside or would you do it right blatantly in front of everybody?
I would probably say, it depends on the person. But were you, I'd say, Susan, get your sticky hands back in your pocket and give me my necklace back. I'd make a joke of it, as I often do.
I would call you into the other room and say, Kathy, I'm ready to cry right now. I know I saw what you just did. Please tell me it's not true. Why?
You know what I would say? What are you talking about? It's not true.
No.
It's not true.
Empty your pockets.
I didn't take that diamond necklace that was sitting on your dresser that's weighing down my pocket right now.
You know what, Kathy? I did have a friend do that. However, I did not see them do it. But
and that's the danger. And that's the danger if you bring it up later. I didn't take your necklace.
Bad.
What are you talking about?
It was bad.
All right.
Bad.
So hey, we're so far you're doing well at this game today. I just want to commend you.
Oh, am I?
You are. You're playing it the right way. Okay. You've decided to throw a New Year's Eve party for all of your closest friends. You send out the invitations, and your good friend that recently started seeing someone reaches out asking for a +1. You tell her yes, as long as you get to meet him first. He seems really wonderful at first, but after one too many drinks, he starts getting really loud and obnoxious. Do you still give her the +1 or revoke it? What would I do? Oh, Susan, come on. You really have to think this hard about this one?
You'd probably
I'm
talk to her
having a
about
New
it. and say,
Year's Eve party.
for all your closest friends.
Yeah.
You would tell her he can't come unless he doesn't drink.
You're
I
doing
can't have
so
it.
well up to that point.
Oh, no. See, you do what I do. Just let him
I
come.
will let him come. Who cares?
You have to.
It's New Year's Eve.
You're looking at me like this, Kathy, like I should know. Oh, my God, she's going to not let him come. I'm going to cry.
By the way, you also just told me what you were going to do. You didn't let me guess. Okay.
I did it. I failed. Only once.
You know what? It's just like everything else you were doing. I gave you an A in the class, and you thought you could slide and make
Give
it
me
the
an
end.
inch, I take a yard.
All right, go ahead. You do the next one.
Your daughter-in-law approaches you and tells you in an emotional state that she suspects your son is cheating on her. Do you confront him, wait to hear him out, or stay out of it?
What would I do? What would let me say what you would do.
Okay.
There's no question you would have a confrontation. No question. But you would do it nicely and you would do it privately. But you would have a
I would
confrontation.
hug her and cry with her and say, please, and maybe
No,
you're
that's
mistaken.
not the
Let me-"
question. Oh my gosh, Susan, the
I
question
could
was,
not stay out of
do
it.
you
You
con-
couldn't
no,
stay out of it. Would you stay out of it?
Wait a minute. Do you
Go ahead.
confront your son is the issue. Now,
Yes.
Okay, not only are you failing at the game now you're having trouble reading. So we're going downhill here fast. Like
I can read. I was guessing what you would do.
Okay.
Which is part of the game.
but I was saying what you would do. You would confront your son.
yes.
Okay, what would I do?
Amongst other things.
Well, exactly,
You would confront
but-
your son too.
Susan, by the way, owns a cadre of baseball bats in all different sizes and colors. Okay, what would I do?
Yeah.
What would I do? What do you think I would do?
I just said you would confront her. You would talk to him.
No, I wouldn't.
You'd never say a word.
Mm-mm.
Some mother-in-law you are. She's reaching out, babe.
You know what I would say to her? I would say, I only have one daughter-in-law, so Candy. I would say, Candy, that's something you need to talk to your husband about. You and Kyle need to, and of course, I hope I never have this. I don't think I will. They're very happily married, but I get that she's in an emotional
She is
state.
standing there crying.
I would
to
hug
you.
her.
I
would love on her.
Yes.
I would say, I'm
yes.
so sorry that you feel this is going on, sweetie, but you really need to talk to Kyle about this. This
Well,
is
you're
your
right.
marriage.
You're right.
I just can't.
But I'd still say something to my son. But I agree. I get it. Okay, go.
Okay. You notice your two best friends that you introduced to each other are hanging out without you more and more. Do you call them both out, try to talk to one of them, or just let it go? Well, now you already know. What would I do? Because we talked about it.
Let it go.
That's right. I would let it go.
You have to let it go.
You would let it. Susan,
You have to
you
let
didn't
it
let me
go.
guess, but you would let it go.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, you would let it go. You might make
I
a
would
joke
get my
about it.
feelings hurt.
Oh, so
Yeah,
of
I would
course.
bust balls.
Yeah,
I would.
Yeah, you would. But
I
you know
would
what?
totally
My feelings would
Oh,
be.
what? You're calling me now? What? You two are always together when that.
Wait,
You're going to call me?
Is this the time to tell you that Nancy and I are going on a really big vacation? You're not invited. Should I tell you?
I am too. I'm coming. I don't care.
See, that's what you would do. I'm not. Nancy and I aren't going anywhere without you.
Wait,
all right.
we all three bought the tickets, Kathy. You
Yeah.
can't even use that one.
All right, we're all going to St. Martin again. That's going to be wild.
Yay.
Yay.
Wait, people, wait.
All right.
I still want to be able to do a podcast from down there on my topless beach. Okay, moving right along.
All right. Go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay, you've been dating a new guy for about 6 months, and everything so far has been great. One night, you catch him going through your text messages and social media DMs, but he doesn't realize you see him. Do you confront him or let it go?
Okay. All of you listeners out there, when we have these moral quandaries, if one of the choices is let it go, for the most part, when I'm guessing Susan's answer, let it go is not in her vocabulary. Therefore,
Ladies
Susan
and gentlemen,
is going
she
to
is
confront him.
100% correct.
This is why we love each other. What would I do? And don't get this wrong. Think.
Well, I'm overthinking, but if you have nothing to hide, maybe you wouldn't say a word.
You are so wrong. I absolutely would confirm that is an invasion of privacy. He has no right, never mind dating a guy 6 months. It says a new guy. I would absolutely say, what the hell do you think you're doing? And if you don't trust
me,
and if you don't trust me, we can just, this game is over now. So
I've had that experience.
Yeah.
I've had. He
well.
was terrible. Oh my God.
all right, well, he's done.
Wow, that's a lot, people. What do you think? How about you guys? What would you do? What would you say? Are you agreeing with Kathy or Susan? Can't wait to find out. And that does it for this episode of our happy hour. Thanks so much for joining us. We have so much fun.
We do.
Chatting with everybody
We
and
do.
reading your questions.
Be sure to submit your questions, because if you don't submit them, we can't answer them. It's really easy. All you have to do is go to bachelornation.com/golden hour. We love connecting with you guys. We want to hear what's on your mind. We want to give some advice. We want to hear about your lives. So please keep those questions coming. We hope that we give you advice that at least helps you or makes you feel a little bit happier that day.
And not for anything, if you have advice for us, we'll talk about it. Let's, right, Kathy?
We-
Maybe
love
we're
to
doing
hear
it wrong.
Love to hear.
Maybe some people out there know what we should be doing and we don't get it.
Maybe they know where to find the guys.
I don't know. But everybody, please listen to Bachelor Happy Hour's Golden Hour on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon.
Have a great week.
To everyone